In this lesson, we will discover how a major scale is constructed. In order to do this, let's first look at something called a tetrachord. This is simply a four-note sequence with a particular formula. Remember that the prefix tetra means four. The intervals between the four notes of the tetrachord are whole step, half step, which we can abbreviate as WWH. Let's take a look at an example. This is called a C tetrachord because the first note is C. You can see that C to D is a whole step, D to E is another whole step, and E to F is a half step. This gives us the WWH formula we are looking for in a tetrachord. Let's look at a few more tetrachords. The G tetrachord is shown here with the intervals WWH. Next, you see a D tetrachord, and finally, the A tetrachord. If you need to, you can pause the video now to study these chords. So, how do the tetrachords help us to form the major scale? All we need to do is take two tetrachords and separate them by a whole step. You can see this formula of whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Take a C tetrachord for instance. The last note of this is F. So, let's find the note that is a whole step up from F. This would be G. Therefore, we are going to use the G tetrachord next. When we combine these two tetrachords, we get the C major scale. Another example is here. We start with the D tetrachord, insert a whole step, then add an A tetrachord. We know we have to use the A tetrachord because A is a whole step away from the last note of the D tetrachord, which is G. This satisfies our formula, and since this major scale starts on D, we call this the D major scale. One final note. If you prefer to use a mnemonic device, you might find this saying useful to remember this formula. We went home when we were hungry.